Hello, I'm Lisa Welsh, and I was the Communications Manager for WAS 2021. And today I am delighted to be joined by Lucia, Rost, and Sara Meyer. And they are going to be sharing a little about the presentation that they gave at the 25th Congress. Welcome to both of you. Lucia, could I ask you to share a little bit more about you and the work that you do?
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for giving us this opportunity, Lisa. I'm Lucia Rost. I'm a research manager at Plan International Global Hub based in the UK, and I work on different research projects, always around children's rights and promoting equality for girls. And I have been working with Sara on this really exciting piece of research on sexual well-being.
Fantastic. Welcome, Sara. Would you like to share a little bit more about your background?
Hello, Lisa. Thank you. Yes, of course. So my name is Sara Meyer. I work as an independent consultant. I'm based in Belgium, and I've been working for the University of Ghent in Belgium for more than 12 years. I'm still involved with them as a PhD student, and I've my PhD and my work before has always been related to gender equality and adolescence and how this is related to sexual health and well-being.
Fantastic, thank you. So you presented at WAS 2021. Perhaps you could share a little bit about what that involved to give us a little teaser for people that might still want to go and watch it.
Yes, of course. So as I said, we're working on a project on sexual well-being. And just to give you a bit of background, this is a project organized by Plan International. We're an independent development and humanitarian organization that advances children's rights and equality for girls. And SIHR is one of the key areas we work on, and increasingly so. But we've recognized the need to deliver holistic SIHR programs. So moving away from just a sexual risk perspective and also focusing on positive aspects of sexuality of young people and focusing on sexual well-being. And consent has also come up as a key theme that we want to work on more. So to build our evidence and to really listen to young people and see how they define sexual well-being and consent, that can then feed into our programming and advocacy work. We started a research project, and we've been working very closely with Sara and her colleagues on this. The research involves data collection in Uganda and Ecuador and a literature review. And during the presentation, we talked mainly about the literature review. We had some really interesting findings coming out of this. I don't know, Sara, if you want to talk a bit more about this.
Of course. I think the first thing we saw in the literature review is that sexuality is really a core topic for all people and also for young people. And when we focused on sexual well-being, we saw that in literature, a real definition of sexual well-being for adolescents doesn't exist yet. So there still needs to be there's still a need for research to understand more in depth what young people understand by sexual well-being. We've seen that it's in many cases linked to positive sexual health outcomes, such as sexual self-esteem or sexual agency, sexual pleasure. But in some literature, in some articles, it's related to the core aspect of sexual well-being, and in other articles it's more seen as a factor that influences sexual well-being. So we explain this a little bit more during our presentation, and we also talk about other factors that can influence sexual well-being and also sexual consent, because we focus on these two topics. And if we take a look at sexual consent, then we see that young people have different strategies to express sexual consent, and that there's still limited research about this in low and middle income countries on how young people understand sexual consent and how they express it. The literature that is present is more, it's mainly conducted in the United States and in Europe. So based on our results, we also give some recommendations, such as, for example, that we really need to invest in social and gender norms to promote sexual well-being and sexual consent, and that it's also really important to provide comprehensive sexuality education from a young age. These are some examples, and we go in depth. And we have a colleague who also presented during the presentation, and he links our results and our recommendations to the programming of Plan International in Uganda. So I hope this are some key ideas that can give you an idea of what the presentation is about.
Thank you, Sara. Thank you, Lucia. It sounds like you identify some really key gaps in the understanding of what we need to support young people with regards to their sexual well-being and consent. So important. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And who do you think would really benefit from watching this presentation?
I think it's because also our backgrounds we have the kind of international development NGO focus, but we also, Sara is an academic. So I think really like practitioner as well as academics can benefit from this presentation. As Sara said, we split it into two parts. So one is the more kind of academic side, the reviewing the literature, coming up with the concepts, defining, what do we even mean with sexual well-being and consent. But then the second part of the presentation really focuses on, how can we apply this in practice? What can we do about it to consider these aspects more in our SIHR programming, and giving these really concrete examples from our colleague in Uganda, who talks about his, experience implementing programs in Uganda and also in some other countries, what he's seen there. So yeah, I think really practitioners and academics might be interested in this.
Fantastic. Thank you. It sounds like such a comprehensive presentation. So for everybody who registered for WAS 2021, you still have access to this presentation and all of the other content on demand until the end of December 2021. So make sure you don't time out before you get to watch the things you want to see. There's so many fantastic presentations available. And if you did not sign up for WAS 2021, there is still time. You can now sign up to get access for everything for only $50. That is a steal. So thank you again for your time, Sara and Lucia. I really appreciated it today.
Thank you.
Thank you.